Hello and welcome to the latest video on the Balance Training and Coaching YouTube channel. And this video, as you are aware, is titled What's the Best Thing to Say or Do? And this is something that I get asked a lot when I'm working on training courses. A lot of staff say to me, look, I need to have a conversation with someone at work and I just would like to know what's the best thing to say or what's the best thing to do in this situation. Now, of course, there are many things, countless things that we could say, that we could do, that we could consider or prepare for in order to run a good working conversation. And therefore I can't possibly cover all of that, even in probably 100 videos of this length. That said, there are some things that you can do to consider what you're going to do and how you're going to approach it. And this is one of them. And I would thoroughly recommend that you spend at least a few seconds on one or more elements within this, call it what you like, model, technique, consideration, because it can genuinely help you to feel more confident, as well as help you to be much clearer on what it is you're going to do and how you're going to do it. Therefore, when people say to me, so what's the best thing to say or do? I say, well, if you wish, park that for a moment, and instead, I'd like to invite you to start here. Start with the context. The context generally will show you which way you want to go, which way you need to go, and then it should start to give you more clarity in terms of what are the better things to say or do or to avoid. Therefore, of course, what do we mean by context? Well, let's capture a few examples. And one, who is it? You might want to start with this first of all. Who am I about to talk to? A few seconds, generally. You don't need to spend too much time on this, but you might want to consider their character, their nature, their tendencies, and so on. As part of that, you might want to consider this feature, which is what is the power-status relationship? Therefore, a lot of people in work say to me, look, I need to have a conversation with someone, and this person, I've just lost the lid on my pen, so just bear with me for a second. Yes, sometimes a member of staff says, I need to talk to this person and I'm feeling a bit nervous about it. Why are you feeling nervous? Well, and this is a very common example I'm given. This is me and this is the person I need to talk to. She or he is my line manager or a senior director, etc. So they have seemingly higher status, maybe actually, and or power. So therefore that is one dynamic, of course. Then a lot of people at work say, well, if it's at this level, by degree, I find it easier, but not necessarily. Some people say, well, this is a work colleague of mine. We've known each other for 7 years. We've worked together all that time. We get on great. I need to tell them something, and I just don't want them to be offended in any way. Sometimes the relationship is like this, and staff say, well, I'm their manager or a team leader or a supervisor, so I'm feeling quite comfortable about this because I have the status, so to speak. What is the quality of our relationship? Therefore, again, this can help you to be more discerning in terms of what you say or how you say it. General examples can include, of course, if the quality of the relationship is not so great, but you have the, say, authority to say something or request something, You might therefore, for example, use more assertive language because you might deem the person to be a tad difficult or challenging. If, however, the quality of your relationship is quite good, it's quite healthy, positive, mature, adult, etc., then perhaps you don't need to worry so much about assertive language. How long have we known each other? Again, another consideration. I believe you're very aware that if you've only known someone for a few days, that can have different dynamics to it as compared to having known someone for a year. Therefore, sometimes a few seconds considering the length of your relationship can sometimes help you to make certain decisions. What mood are we in? Of course, again, I believe you know this very well, that mood is essential. If you and or the other person or party are in a pretty good mood, okay, maybe you want to have the conversation right now. If one or both of you are not in such a good mood, it's generally probably not a good idea to be having a difficult conversation. What are our energies like? So, for example, sometimes people say, I wouldn't have the conversation this morning, it's Monday morning, people just coming to work, people are tired, there's a lot to consider at the start of the week, and so forth. Likewise, sometimes people say, I wouldn't have a conversation with them at the end of the day, they're really tired at the end of the day, and there's a higher chance that they might get irritable or misinterpret what you're saying, etc. So consider your energy and theirs if you wish. Where are we? Again, factors to consider can be quite important in relation to environments. So, of course, an open plan office, like everything else, has its pros and cons. So, are you happy with an open plan office? If you are they? Maybe you want to book a private room. Sometimes people prefer that. Interestingly, sometimes staff say, well, I like the private room. What I don't like is this silent walk of death or doom-laden feeling of walking with that person to the room. There are, of course, ways to get around that. If you want to know, let me know. But where are you? Is it okay to be in the staff canteen or in a cafe outside, in a corridor? Yes or no? Who else is there? Is there anyone else there? If so, is that okay or not? Or are you alone? Again, is that okay or not? In very rare circumstances, particularly in my experience, I might have a witness there. I've had a witness present in possibly about 7 conversations over the last roughly 18 years. And these were all situations where the person in question was being so incredibly obstreperous, i.e. willfully difficult, that I had to pause the training or the session and invite them outside to talk about it, and I asked someone neutral to come out as a witness. That's said to repeat, that's very rare, I believe. So just consider for a few seconds, if you want to, is it okay that there are people present or not? What is the priority level of this matter? Therefore, again, you might want to consider, am I thinking about something that's just low priority or moderate priority? If it's high priority, okay, maybe. The other factor here that comes up a lot is that staff say, what do you do when someone comes to you with a matter that they deem to be high priority, but to you, in your experience or position, it's not high priority at all? So you might want to consider that. It might be high priority to you, is it to the other party? Have we talked about this before? Again, you might want to spend some time on this. I believe, again, you know with this, that if you've talked about something before, once before, twice, 3, 4, 5 times before, that probably is going to send you in different directions in terms of how you go about it and what you say. That said, if this is a first time conversation, that can give you more clarity in terms of what you do, what you say and how and so on again. So this, like all the others, can affect the answer, what is the best thing to say or do. There you go. So there's just, I don't know, 10 or so examples there of context. There are many others, of course. I'm not saying that's all of them. And to repeat, if you would like to spend a few seconds or minutes considering one or more of those, please do. It generally gives you more confidence and more clarity as to what you're doing. For some people, in some work contexts, this is enough. They can then use this to go forward and make their plan, so to speak. For others, this is a useful starting point, but then they say, well, okay, that's good, but now I need something else. And very commonly, the something else is language. A lot of people say, okay, now I need to work out exactly what I'm going to say, what I'm going to do, how I'm going to phrase it in those senses, the actual words. I am going to make some more videos on language and assertive language, and therefore do feel free if you wish to stay connected to the channel. Clearly one way to do that is subscribe if you wish, and then once I've made the video you will get an automatic alert to let you know that it's been made. Yeah, therefore I am going to make some videos on language in particular, therefore if you want some ideas and help with that, you've got something to use in addition to this contextual consideration. And that's it. Thanks very much for your time. I hope this was helpful. If it was, let me know. If it wasn't, let me know. And yeah, if you liked it, do please like and subscribe. And if you want me to make a video for you personally, please get in touch and I will happily make it as quickly as I can. Okay, thanks very much.